Well, this is some terrible news for Donald Trump. Some of his own fans are starting to turn on him as he embraces the idea of going to war with Iran. Like, for example, conservative commentator Candace Owens just said Donald Trump just completely fractured his base, and he did it for the very neocons who minted the Never Trump movement. Truly unbelievable. This guy said in a now viral tweet, "F it, if Trump takes us to war, I'm done with him and his administration. I voted for no wars, cheap gas, no taxes, cheap groceries, MAGA. What of these things have actually happened? I'm pissed." Newsflash, buddy, you got played. And in replies to Donald Trump on social media, people are losing it. This guy said, "Trump lost it. I thought Trump cared about relationships. Clearly something is wrong with him." This guy said, "You're going to throw away your entire presidency over a war with Iran." Sam said, "Very disappointed. We don't want this." Safe to say that even some of Donald Trump's diehard supporters are not on board with what he's doing right now. And there are many more examples. I imagine that this is only going to get worse for Donald Trump. I'm going to break it down on my YouTube, my Substack, and my show on Spotify. All of those links are in my bio. But things aren't going great for Trump.
This has to be grounds for impeachment. Trump just posted on Truth Social that, quote, "Everyone should immediately evacuate the city of Tehran. That is the capital of Iran and has a population of 10 million people. What are we doing? Take away his keys."
So Iran is planning on striking U.S. military bases, and Donald Trump decided that today was the day that he wanted to get on Truth Social and start egging shit on. Seriously, this is the person that we decided in November was fit for this position to keep us out of wars in the Middle East when he didn't even do that in his first term. This is the person that we decided was more emotionally competent than the woman. The woman, she's going to be too in her emotions to be able to keep us out of wars and stuff. What the fuck is this fat, orange, nasty bitch doing? What is he doing right now? He's literally letting his mouth write checks that the bank continuously cannot cash. And now he's drawing the military into something because he couldn't shut the fuck up, which is the story of his life. He doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. So, the United States, we have no parts in this. The United States, you just said all that shit like 2 days ago. But now you're on Truth Social egging shit on. We know where the Supreme Leader is. They got all these weapons, all this. Like, what the fuck is your stupid ass doing? Like, what's going on?
If you all think that it's going to be easy to annihilate Iran, I'm going to remind you guys about the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s. These two countries had a war for 8 years. And guess which country backed Iraq and supplied them with weapons? The United States. The United States was involved with Saddam Hussein, giving him weaponry to fight Iran. They fought for 8 years. Iran never stopped. And after they exhausted Iraq, after 8 years, with U.S. help, does that sound familiar? Like what happened in Afghanistan and the Mujahideen, that we helped to get rid of the Soviet Union, that then they turned on us. The same way Saddam turned on us after we gave them all the weaponry to fight Iran for 8 years, 1980 to 1988. And you think that Iran is going to roll over? Listen, anybody that is in the army or the military right now that can get out, get out. If you're up to be able to leave, leave. And anybody considering signing up, no, you maggots need to go and sign up. Go and sign up, you maggots. All of you running around, screaming at people, showing your rifles, you need to go and sign up. Because I can tell you, if Trump tries to draft anybody, nobody's going to get drafted. The entire United States jails will be full of people. Nobody is going to go and fight a war and die in the Middle East because of something that was not started by the United States. So remember that Iran-Iraq war. 8 years of war. Iran is not going to just give up. And Donald Trump is a danger to this planet. He is the danger. Donald Trump, he lied. He told them he wanted an agreement. Meanwhile, secretly, he and Netanyahu knew about what they were going to do. So nobody can trust Trump.
Trump, do not get the United States into a war with Iran because of Israel. Do not get the United States into a war with Iran over Israel. Don't get us involved. You campaigned in 2020 and 2024. You would not do this. Do not get us in a war. Please let Donald Trump know, if you don't want to get into another war, a war with Iran right now, please help me use your voice to let him know, don't get us in one. I don't want us in one. We don't need to be in one. This whole war should have never happened. The whole reason we're even here is because Donald Trump, in his brilliant ways, ended the Iran nuclear deal that Iran promised not to create any more nuclear material for their nuclear weapons program in 2018. In 2015, President Obama had gotten Iran to negotiate that they would not produce any more nuclear material for nuclear weapons or anything if we would lift economic sanctions. They agreed. Needless to say, Donald Trump tried to undo anything and everything President Obama had done that helped the U.S. and the world. This was a good thing that had been done, and Donald Trump goes and undoes it. So now because of that, we're here basically 7 years later. This is all thanks to Donald Trump and also thanks to Netanyahu and Israel. So use your voice, tell Donald Trump, do not get us in a war. I don't want to get us in a war. And speaking of wars, I'm going to talk about ICE and their massive overspending, out of control. You'd think they were out all night, every night, all the time, spending money they don't have, which they've done. Let them know, no new wars for the United States, Donald Trump, period. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. And how about all of y'all folks in Michigan, you know, from the Middle East that voted for Donald Trump? You see what he's done with you in Israel, right? Yep, you see.
Imagine waking up to the headline that Trump urges immediate evacuation of Tehran. You think it's a bluff, but it's not. Moments after storming out of the G7 summit, Trump takes to Truth Social and announces everyone must evacuate Tehran now. No context, no filter, just the kind of sentence that stops the world. And almost instantly, Tehran erupts into panic. Roads are gridlocked. Sirens pierce the air and families are packing what they can carry. No one knows exactly why, but everyone knows that this is real. Israel's airstrikes have already hit state television and suspected nuclear sites. The fear is that this is the beginning of something catastrophic. The hope is that it's an end of a regime that has silenced and opaqued the Iranian people for decades. But here's what the headlines won't show you. Neighbors are sharing food, strangers are opening their doors, and mothers are holding their kids' hands tighter than ever, and somehow smiling through the fear. A city on edge, a people under fire, and yet the humanity still seems to be louder than the bombs. There's talk now of diplomatic intervention. France, the US, there's a whisper of a ceasefire. Nothing guaranteed, but it's something. And while leaders play chess with people's lives, it's those people that remind us what strength really looks like.
All right, I want you to look at this right here. Donald Trump is asking for an unconditional surrender in Iran. And before you all get your panties in a bunch, I want to remind you about something. Donald Trump is one of the only presidents in our modern times that has been working his ass off to try to make sure we do not go to war with Iran, okay? Every single other president that we have ever had would have escalated this from the very beginning. Donald Trump is showing you that he does not want war, just like you don't want war, just like many people in the middle do not want war. But for some reason, they have you focus on the fact that Donald Trump is just like the rest of them. Listen to what you just said. If Donald Trump is just like the rest of them, then why is he trying to do everything he can to not have this war? And the fact that you even bring that up, he's just like the rest of them, that means that every single other president would have wanted war. Why is it that you can't focus on the most important thing? That Donald Trump is trying everything he can to not have this war. Have a great day.
Listen, I don't even think MAGA would approve of the U.S. getting involved in the Iran and Israeli conflict. I don't. I think that would be such an unpopular move from Donald Trump, right? That he would probably need to manufacture a situation to give himself reasoning to get some support from the people. You know, he craves that external validation. You see what I'm saying? Not saying any of this was fake, but he would need a 9/11. He would need a Pearl Harbor. He would need like a Archduke Franz Ferdinand assassination. You know what I'm saying? So much so, like, because, bro, you can't isolate the U.S. in the way that he has on all fronts and then come to the aid of another country, Donald Trump. That doesn't make sense, Donald Trump. Right? You can't just claim to be the president of peace of fucking dog shit. Who's that? Anyway, you can't claim all that and then get us into a war. The fuck?
Okay, let's talk about all you people shitting on Trump for the war in Iran. It's stupid. Let me explain why. Trump is literally playing an impossible hand. Trump can't just let Iran destroy Israel. He has to give them kind of backup. A large amount of Americans love Israel. It's part of his biggest voter base. It is just built into the American identity. A lot of Americans also don't want to go to war and are anti-war. Great. Iran's nuclear program has been a negotiation since the Bush era. Okay, so he's trying to solve a problem that's literally decades old. Iran's nuclear program has to do with trade with China and military deals with Russia, which tie into Ukraine. Trump is trying to kill as few people as possible, literally telling people in Tehran to flee. What better job could he be doing? There's literally nothing else he could be doing given the situation. And if your logic is, well, just let Israel get bombed, stupid. Well, just take out the mullahs, stupid. This is a game of tit for tat where Trump is trying to do as much as possible to minimize mass killing and nuclear warfare. And if you don't get that, you're never going to get it.